Thank you so much for being with me today for the launch of the Mystic Woman's Compass. I've got my copy there on the back shelf and another one here. I'm just so ecstatic that it is here in print after all these years of working on it behind the scenes and sort of writing, and then also having the editing and then another editing process. So it does take a while. If anyone's out there wanting to, think about writing, it's, 4 or 5 different drafts. So that even then, even with the cover, I sort of went, even I liked different versions of the cover, but that all came together and it was collaborative. So that's why I want you to know that even though I wrote it, I still had people help me edit. And I think that's important to get somebody else have a different eye so that what I'm trying to express comes out really fluidly. So today I just wanted to share a few stories and get a sense of how it's shaped me and how that might impact on you. So when I share my story, you can either close your eyes or just listen and just be really aware of any triggers that come up in your body. Because as a healer, a transformational messenger, I'm here to help you shift as much as I am. So when I share my story, there's going to be some things that might come up for you that this is a great opportunity, like a workshop, to release anything that's coming up. And that way you are supporting this mystic woman and you are a mystic woman as well. So you can step into your greatest potential, which is what this book is all about, overcoming the challenges and no longer being hit by those roadblocks where you want to give up and give in and decide it's not for you, but actually those roadblocks are there to break through so that you are able to, step into the best version of you. Okay. So when I was at school, we want to call in the guides. We want to call in the guides. So this is a really important time for us to come together. So calling in my guides and your guides here so that you are really shifting as much as possible as well. So this is what this book is all about, is how you're going to shift totally. There's so many different processes and techniques in the book to help you overcome those issues that just help you to, you think they are your greatest challenge, but you are meant to break through them so that you are finding your gold within. So when I was at school, I had to decide what I wanted to do at university because that was the pathway. My dad said, you've got to do science. And as a good Italian Chilean girl, I didn't necessarily want to do that, but I didn't have many options. I did, though, have really severe acne, and I was trying to search for solutions for my skin issues. And I came across, what a naturopath was. I thought, wow, I'd love to do that. I was applying all these different potions to my skin, garlic, garlic to try, because I didn't know I was allergic to dairy. So, but I thought, wow, I'd love to be a naturopath. That sounds like it really lit me up. But at that time, my dad couldn't afford to pay for that course. So I went off and studied biomedical science and I worked in pathology for about 10 years. And in that time, I enjoyed it initially, but I was sitting at the microscope for 8 hours a day with these other women and they all had a dream, but nobody wanted to move. They wanted to change. They just felt they were going to be stuck in this position. They didn't have an options. And I thought, I don't want to be here in another 10 years' time doing the same thing that they are doing. They were in their 40s and 50s, and here I was in my early mid 20s, early 30, and I thought, I have to change. But my body, I was too scared. My mind saying change, change, but my body was in fear. At this microscope, I started to get RSI and it didn't heal. I tried all sorts of things. My body was trying to tell me, you have to get out, you have to leave this job, but I wouldn't listen. So I tried different forms of meditation. I tried Reiki and I thought, wow, Reiki makes a difference to me. I'd like to learn how to do Reiki. I tried pain psychology, helping me understand how much I'm carrying trauma in my body. And because I'm sitting at this microscope, being analyzed all the time, looking for cancer cells, but not really fulfilling my dreams. And I was remembering how my mum, who was a very educated woman that taught philosophy, ended up being sewing clothes, and that's why she got breast cancer. I know that's why she got breast cancer. I felt like if I stayed here any longer, it's not just going to be my arm. I couldn't lift my arm to wash my hair. I couldn't hang up the washing. I was using electrodes, TENS machines to try and scramble the messages of the pain in my arm because it was just excruciating. So yeah, it was. I tried for a year to try and help it heal, but nothing made a difference because I was meant to try to move and become a naturopath and try and study again. But there was so much fear in my body. I can't do it. I don't have the money. What will people think? So I was torn between I know what I need to do, but I don't want to do it. My body was screaming out in pain, you have to change, you have to change. Nothing's going to change while I still stayed in that job. And so I chose to eventually change. I enrolled in a course, in a naturopathy course, and I decided to leave. I resigned from work and started to study, and I tried all different things. Part of my study helped me to learn about flower essences, how to change my beliefs through those essences, to really look at what my mind was saying. But I want you to think about anything that's happening in your body where there might be some inflammation or ill health that your body is saying you have to move, you have to change, but your mind is going into all the reasons why you can't. So your mind is splitting from your body that's telling you all these reasons why you should really move on into something else. So often we are at crossroads, and thinking about doing it, your mind will just make up all these excuses until it gets unbearable, until something snaps within you that you have to change completely. And because of my mum passing away from cancer, I knew I couldn't stay in that. So that's why I shifted. So I'm wondering what's happening in your life where you might have some witnessing, some knowledge of I've got to do something different, but I'm not sure how that'll work. And so I didn't have the full answers. I didn't have all of the reasons on can I afford to study? Will I have time? That's when I was just newly pregnant at that time, and I birthed my first son, and he started having all these allergies, and I was still studying because I thought this is what I'm meant to do. So despite having a baby, I knew this is what my destiny was. And I felt so much better. My arm started to heal through the process, even though I was writing assignments, because I was out of that environment of control and scrutiny, because I was starting to shift onto my path where I needed to be. My body began to heal because I was being guided by the universe, by spirit to my next step. So I finished my course. I finished my naturopathy course, and I thought, this is fabulous. This is exactly what I need to be doing. I've learned all about the herbs. Herbs used to speak to me. I knew which herbs people needed because I was drawn to them. I would be really connected with trees. And I just felt like this is how I can help people, giving them solutions through their body with nutrition, through herbs, through understanding what's happening, through diet, just changing all the things, making a difference before it gets to really bad conditions such as cancer or chronic inflammatory conditions. So when I started working at home, because I've got a little baby now, people knew that I did healing, but I didn't want to be a healer. People would come to me because through word of mouth, because they knew I could help them. But I pushed that part away. No, I've just studied this. I've studied naturopathy. This is what I'm meant to do. So I was really blinkered. I didn't want to even consider being a healer. That was just a side thing that helped my arm to heal. But I realized that I was absorbing a lot of projections from other people. If you change, what will people think? I've moved from a medical career to naturopathy. There was already judgment about that around for me. And then as a naturopath, there was a lot of judgment that, oh, she's a bit eccentric. She's a bit weird doing some of this woo-woo stuff. but I was starting to get better results, not just treating the body physically with nutrition and herbs, but looking at any underlying issue within the body with the healing. A lot of the clients were coming to me, they had allergies and sensitivities, just like my son did. And I realized that they all had healing abilities, intuitive abilities. And because of their sensitivity, they really were manifesting these conditions to help them also find the answers. So I was helping them uncover that for themselves. So once I stopped tossing up in my head, I can't do, I'm going to be judged, people will really think I'm weird, I had to sort of push that aside and just do it quietly. I was pretty hidden. I was undercover so that I could just attract the right people, but not fully out there. I didn't want to be out there. No, because what would people think? But, I started to build a clientele, people would come. So I had to merge this, my analytical mind, my medical degree, and bridge that with not just naturopathy, but my intuition. So my medical intuitive abilities started to develop where I could see into the body, where I could look at disease, where I could see where they were holding their most trauma that they'd inherited from family members, where emotions were lodged in there. And so clients wanted to know, how can I do that? What can I do to change? What are you doing so that I could do it too? So that's where I started to evolve to the next thing, being a teacher. I don't think I'm a teacher. So again, I was coming up against this next barrier around my beliefs around, can I teach? I can't speak. I don't think I can articulate properly. I'm so nervous at speaking. As a migrant child, English was my second language, and I did feel like I couldn't communicate very well on paper. And with my dominating father, my Italian father, he taught me to shut down. I was too scared to speak up. So whenever I did speak, I was very nervous. I was very shaky. And the thought of teaching, even to a small group, felt life-threatening. So it was a big transition for me to step into that image of myself, because I was shaking. I'd go to the toilet multiple times. I started to teach a little class at home. So it was informal, but even then I was still shaking like a leaf until I got a bit better. So I was able to sort of overcome a lot of those initial traumas to eventually teach in a bigger space in a massage center and become more comfortable with expressing myself, even though my mom would say, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. But eventually I could see how much I was empowering these people, especially women, to use their intuition, to tap into their abilities. And they started to heal. And it was just fabulous to see the changes. I've had so many case studies of people that were sort of so frightened and anxious that that's what I realized. I was helping people step into their potential and empowerment. So as I was evolving, I could see, oh, this is my next stretch. This is what I need to do. But if I don't do it, I'll get sick. So every time I hit a new wall, I know that I have to bust through that resistance, which is fear, because I'm being led. I trust now that I'm being led. And people wanted to hear my story. A lot of the clients, I started to realize, I wish I had a book, because they would say, how did you learn what you did? And I could recommend lots of different books, but I know my version would be different. And I journaled a lot of my experiences with my son and all his allergies and life-threatening asthma and anaphylaxis with peanuts and aerosols, toxic fumes from a lounge that we got that ended up in hospital. So I was documenting what I tried to use on him, how I was clearing his past lives, and his skin started to get better. His lungs started to improve. And so I was journaling all of this, and I thought, well, perhaps I can put this into a book, which took many years, many years, my first book, Alchemy as Child. And when I published that, I was in awe. I just thought, wow, this is incredible. And I started to believe I could actually be a writer. I could be an author. this was something I never even contemplated was possible for me. So in that change, in understanding I was breaking through an old identity, all of us, our greatest gifts come from our biggest challenges. So whatever you are struggling with right now that you don't think is possible, you are meant to overcome those issues. So my book helps to give you all the strategies that you need, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, to understand where those blockages are coming from so that you are no longer holding yourself back. And so, and even writing this book now, I know that I had a framework of I am a writer now. I've written one book, I can write another one, but bringing in a whole new level of support from allies and people to share this book, for it to be now a #1 bestseller in shamanism, is just beyond my beliefs that I could ever have got to this point. So I'm so grateful for everyone's support and just trusting myself that I would never have been here. 30 years ago, I never could have considered this was a possibility for me. And I know that if I could do it, all the strategies that I have in my book will help you to do it, because I've seen it time and time again with so many of my clients overcoming their difficulties. And we can't do it alone. That's why if you're watching this, that you are, an empath or a healer or a light worker, that you are bringing your vibration, your healing frequency, your channel to any workplace that you are in your family, in your community, because you are here to make a difference just by being yourself in all of your qualities. You are emitting a frequency of peace and love and empowering others in leadership positions, so that you're raising people up to see you as role models, so that they can too have an impression of what an avatar looks like in their life, someone they can work towards. So I know if you're in my community, you are that woman. And I'm so grateful that you are here with me. And I just wanted to take you through a short goddess meditation that's in my chapter 11, about working with the goddesses. So if you'd like just to take a moment, take a breath. When we work with the goddesses, it's an activating a part within you that is already there, that might be hidden, that might be in the shadows. Many countries around the world have worked with the goddesses through myths and legends to bring about the highest quality, something that needs to be awakened within you. And so you might have a goddess that you like working with right now, and wherever your background is, your culture, there might be a specific goddess that might come to mind, but I'll go through a few in a minute. But the frequency of the goddess is changing the vibration within your cells. It's helping you to heal wounds and activate your sacred gifts to help you blossom, so that you are taking root into this next step, your next potential. Like, I see this book as my next growth edge. What is your next growth edge as you're planting the seeds for this goddess frequency to come into you, to activate more of your abilities, your next edge of you, where you might be, stepping into your spiritual gifts, your healing abilities, or being a leader, being a creative. And as you activate this goddess energy, it's just going to help to heal any self-doubt or low self-esteem or disappointment that you might be carrying right now, something that's in the dark that feels helpless. So there's a part of you that needs to be brought into the light. So feel yourself with this goddess that wants to come in, this goddess mentor. It could be somebody from Egypt or India or from the Celtic lands, American Indian, Chinese, African, or from South America, who wants to come in to support you, to heal a flaw within your body, anything that you're holding back that will become your greatest strength, so that you can become an embodiment of this frequency. There might be a color or a crystal or a piece of jewelry that resonates with this particular goddess, that reflects her creative potential. And we want to open the 7 chakras to allow the light to come in as you embody the crown chakra. So one of the goddesses I love using in the crown is the goddess Isis, the Egyptian goddess. She's brings in healing, nurturing, relationships, taking responsibility for your decisions. So where the crown may be overthinking, might be too far in the past or the future, Isis aligns you to your true purpose. Feel that landing for you in the crown. As you're focusing on your breath, to allow more space to expand the crown, to give you the insight that you need for the next 6 months. See, and in the third eye is about your psychic abilities, your intuition. Who wants to go in there? I'm going to use the goddess Ishel. She's a Mayan goddess from South America. She helps work with the cycles of the seasons, the moon, and healing any trauma from the past. So you can heal karmic patterns that you've inherited from your family as well. Feel that supporting, balancing your third eye, so you're getting the guidance that you need specifically. We can often get guidance for everybody else. We want to bring the guidance in for you. And dropping down into the throat, the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. So she's a lion goddess of power and strength and protection. She's good with boundaries. Often as empaths and healers, we can overgive to others and not have enough boundaries for ourselves. So she's helping to activate empowerment and wisdom, when to speak, how to be passionate with your expression, how to be authentic with your words. Just sense the activation there in the throat. So you're breathing down from that divine channel into the throat to expand that potential within you. That's it. And in the heart chakra, Aphrodite, she's the Greek goddess. What do you need in your heart? You maybe want to put your hand on your heart to activate that space a bit more, to bring in love and beauty and luck and passion, honoring your own beauty, and nurturing compassion for yourself, transforming any level of regret or anger or jealousy where you might have shut down in different parts of your life, to allow that to open up again, for you to sense that expansion of self-care, self-love, self-worth, attracting other people in your life that value you. It's beautiful there. And dropping down to the solar plexus above your navel, this is Athena, beautiful goddess, great goddess of protection and courage and leadership. Often we can feel people take our power, or there might be some dynamics where there's a bit of conflict, we don't trust ourselves. Just strengthen, as you breathe up from the earth, strengthen your solar plexus there with a specific color that you need today, whether it's Athena or another beautiful goddess, to activate your wisdom. Often this is where we have our gut wisdom, which we can disconnect from. So it's about your next level trust, reclaiming your power that you may have given away. Often we are caught up in power dynamics because we are meant to speak up and put up boundaries and learn that we are valued and we are important, and what our needs are just as important as anyone else. So often we'll attract difficulties, but we are meant to speak up and ask for more and to take action. Often we can get caught up with thinking, wishing, but this solar plexus energy helps us to move ahead and actually ground into taking the next step. What is the next step Athena wants you to take that will help you? Because it's important you can't just keep wishing, I haven't done this, my life has not evolved like this without me taking physical action to the things that I thought I wasn't capable of doing. So taking that next step is crucial in your development. And then dropping down into the sacral below your navel, this is the goddess Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of creation, music, writing, and learning. So this is your beautiful creative center. What are you creating? So it doesn't need to be babies. It could be a project, it could be your art, it could be just the life that you want to live. This creative power, especially for women, the sacral chakra activates the dantian, our sacred power, our flame sits there. You could be renovating, you could be designing your home. This is about beauty, what is surrounding you to make your place feel comfortable and nurturing and nourishing for you. So this energy will help you move out of procrastination and bring your ideas into reality. To feel yourself experience that energy, that shift in that creative fire. Because this is also about connections. This one specifically is about, who are my allies? Who am I working with? Who can I rely on? Often we are givers and we can be supporting everybody else, and it could be so disappointing when we put energy and effort into being a loyal friend or partner or family member, and yet it doesn't come back to us. So this is about you being able to receive life contributing back to you. So feel this overflowing, but also returning back like a cycle. Keep giving out, keep creating, but you're coming back to this beautiful space of it's being regenerated because you are being filled up by other people. And so asking for Saraswati here to heal any conflict or disappointment where you've been let down in the past. And in the base chakra, so this is your connection to the earth. This is about opening up your shamanic abilities, your connection with the land, the four elements, fire, water, earth, and air. And there might be a specific goddess that you know that wants to be popped in there into the base. Here in my book, I've used Kali, the Hindu goddess. She is the goddess of life and death and rebirth, helping to cut away things that are no longer useful, that no longer resonate, things that you have outgrown, people you've outgrown, and activating this new level of boldness, fierceness, and wildness so that you are reaching your potential as you're moving out of your comfort zones. Often when you are comfortable, things are okay, things are good, and you hit that wall, that new edge, and that's where you can start to get wobbly. You can get anxious. You can decide it's too hard to follow my dreams. But that's exactly what you're meant to follow through, is breaking down the walls. So just get a sense of Kali, because she does have a sword, breaking through, breaking down the barrier that you've put in place that has been keeping you safe, but it's also been constricting you, kept you in a box, kept you shut down like in a cage. So let Kali now set you free from the old way. So you're stepping into the new shoes, the new frequency. So there might be a talisman, an image, a crystal that relates to any of these goddesses. As you ask for a message to activate the presence of one specific one of these, which chakra is the one that is going to be activated the most in the next 6 months with this goddess energy? Get a sense of that in your body and the presence of her. Any symbols that she's bringing through, any smells or colors, sensations, thoughts, textures, perceive them. And put that by your bedside as a remembrance of, this is the goddess I'm awakening within myself, because when you are connected to the earth and the divine channel, you bring through the frequency that you need to grow to your next step of potential, but you are also creating great change with those people in your life. When you change, they change. When you shift, the world starts to shift around you to give you the support that you need. Feel this goddess energy pulsing through you. Ask her, what are you here to teach me? Part of me represents you. So there's a part of the goddess that you already have active within you that wants to grow and be amplified. What part of this goddess wants to develop and evolve over the next 6 months? And what is one thing that I'm overcoming by living with this frequency of the goddess? What is one of my shadows or a perceived flaw that I feel is stopping me or in my way, blocking me using this frequency? What is this one thing this goddess is helping you to do? And what do I need to do to integrate you into my life? Let's be shown what that is. What's the physical thing you need to be doing? So to integrate the changes, you may like to journal what's come through. You may want to take a walk or dance, or move your body in some way to allow this frequency to settle in your body, into the physical. Just bringing one word in that just summarizes everything this goddess is supporting you with. So coming back into your normal breath with all those changes intact, grounding those changes in the light. Hope that supported you today. And yeah, so glad that you've come here and spent this time with me. And here's my book again. It's got some beautiful pictures in it and some memories from childhood, lots of little images from me when I was younger. There's little me and 2 and 4 years old. So I know this will benefit so many healers that are struggling out there right now, and that you might like to buy them a copy as well. But thank you so much for already helping me get to international bestseller already.